Okay, hey guys. So, I was working on the quilt for a little bit. Alright, so. What? Okay. Hmm. Hang on, guys. Alright, so, guys, if you're ever drinking something in the summertime, like iced coffee, and you have a straw in it, check it, because there might be a fly in it. Don't laugh at me. You don't want to know. Anyways, this is on the next little sections. What are you homesteading for? Money, self-sufficiency, passion? While all homesteaders aspire to have some degree of self-sufficiency, people choose this lifestyle for different reasons. Some are preppers, determined to be able to take care of themselves and their families. That's us. Others are just fed up with a centralized food system and want to do their part to make locally produced food, and all that represents more widely available. That's us too. Still others surprisingly go into homesteading as a small business. Perhaps even more surprisingly, many of them are successful at it. That's us as well. No matter what your reasons, take a moment to reflect on why you'd like to start homesteading. Write it down. Make a vision board, a brain map, a to-do list, whatever it takes. This time of reflection will go a long way toward getting you into the right mindset. Remember, we talked about that in that one video. Adapting to the homestead mindset. Excuse me. Without at least some idea of why you've decided to take on a life of self-imposed difficulty, then you might wind up in a situation that's too chaotic and expensive, which will inevitably lead to quitting. And while there's nothing wrong with quitting something that doesn't work, we need all the homesteaders we can get. And it does work, you guys. It's hard work, and you can't go into it without knowing that. Now with us, we're going to have to I'm going to have to stock up on like all the different animal feeds. Why? Okay? Because even though I'm aiming to grow all of the food for our animals, I'm not going to have it when we first get them. So we're going to have at least a year or two supply of food for the animals. So I'm going to have to start buying it. And as soon as we get our financial situation figured out, I'm going to start doing that. But I'm going to have something to put it in. So I'm probably going to have to buy like those metal trash cans with the tight fitting lids to put the feed in. Alright, different ideas about homesteading. So there's different ways to deal with homesteading, different levels of commitment, if you will. No, one level is no better or worse than the other. Our unofficial motto from scratch is we're all at different places on our own paths. Some people involved in the homestead lifestyle believe in litmus tests. We don't. You can start an urban homestead where a home in a city provides you with all the space you need to grow food and raise chickens and puts you close to any market you'd like to sell in. Also, with newer farming models like SPIN, small plot intensive farming, farm a yard, and bio-intensive farming methods, a lot of food can be grown in very small spaces with very little equipment. Urban homesteading has one big advantage, as it helps alleviate the social isolation that many small farmers, to their detriment, suffer from. However, for many, urban homesteading doesn't allow for the space and self-sufficiency some require for their personal homesteading journey. And you know what? I would rather us be in the country on our property because it gives us more freedom of being able to grow and raise what we need to. So, and we're looking to be able to start that homesteading community up there as well. So, and moving out onto our property is going to be a good thing for Faith First. So, all right. This brings us to the traditional homestead, or what people think of when they hear the word homestead. My eyes, I'm tired.
I was very, very scared to go past the door.
the farmhouse out in the country. Whether purchased or built, this model offers the little house on the prairie dream many homesteaders have. It has a lot of advantages. Greater space means more animals, plants, and projects, which can increase profits and self-sufficiency. It's great to raise children out in the country, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. If you homeschool, more on that later, then there's lots of learning opportunities to be found when you live a bit closer to the wildness of nature. But it can be isolating. It's often more difficult to get materials and resources to and from markets, and you may find yourself competing with farmers and operations that view 1,000 acres as a small farm. However, rural people can usually find people with certain skills that you might have difficulty finding in urban areas. For example, if you're into fiber arts, a senior center in a rural county will undoubtedly be overrun with seamstresses who can put you on the right track. Fifth generation farmers in the boonies can tell you about which varieties of okra to grow and the best place to find seed and feed. I am not growing okra. Not going to happen.
Tried to get in. Everyone inside now.
My favorite version of homesteading so far, however, is apartment homesteading. A term I've only heard used by Samantha McClellan of the Sweet Potatoes and Social Change blog. I'm hoping apartment homesteading catches on. Samantha lives in a pretty small apartment but manages to live a homesteading lifestyle despite her limitations. Bleh. She composts, raises worms, gardens in containers, air dries her clothes, and so much more. It's a great method to get started in homesteading, and it's a great way to introduce yourself to homesteading concepts and principles before you run off and grab a 30-year mortgage. All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I'll stop with this one. And I will start back on another one in just a few minutes, guys. Be right back. Bye, guys.